Talking and doing vie for the exact same resource. Why is it that it's always the most unqualified person to speak on a topic or an idea that's always got the most to say about it? The skinniest person you know is going to tell you how to work out. The fattest person you know is going to tell you how to get slim. The dumbest person you know is going to tell you how to get smart. The laziest person you know is going to tell you about their brilliant business idea that they're never going to do. Why? And when I first actually thought about this, I actually sat down and thought about it. The first thing that came to mind was the Dunning-Kruger effect. So what that is, if you don't know it, it's basically if their someone's skill level or understanding of a concept has a very strange relationship to how confident they actually are. There's like a little spike at the beginning and then it falls off a cliff. So to put it into words, if you know nothing about something, you probably have no confidence in it. Like if you've never, I'll use chess here because I'm kind of into it at the moment as an example, but also I think people vaguely sort of understand the idea of chess. If you've never played chess before and someone says, oh, go play a chess game and beat someone, you know you're not going to win. So your confidence is absolutely zero. If you've played a little bit of chess, then all of a sudden your confidence spikes up. You know, I know how to play chess. I can beat this guy. But then as you get better at chess, you start to realize how little you actually know. And that confidence falls straight off a cliff again. You're back to, oh, I don't know anything. I'm an idiot. But you're actually better than you were before. But your confidence has decreased and then confidence slowly builds up as sort of a relative scale. So easy way to think of it, a beginner knows they're a beginner. A novice thinks they're absolutely brilliant. Someone who's average thinks they're below average. Someone who's above average thinks they're average. And then someone who's truly brilliant thinks they're very good, but probably doesn't see the true extent to how good they are. But it's that little bit there. That's kind of the person who's been working out for a couple months and thinks they know exactly how to tell you how to work out because they've watched 3 Jeff Nippard videos. Like that's what that is. But one thing that never clicked for me is these kind of people, they don't really get better. The fattest person you know knows exactly how to get slim. And they've probably told you 1,000 times the exact like protocol they would use, the exact method. Oh, like, oh, you're trying to lose weight. Oh, you should do this. Try this. This is what actually works. But they never stay consistent at themselves, or they don't even try it in the first place. That's why they don't get better. Think about it. Any skill, even if their plan was wrong, they would do it, realize it's wrong, and adapt it until it works, right? But they don't do it. Any skill that you do, you will get better at. But they don't do it. Why? That defeats the whole Dunning-Kruger thing. That's why they stay at the idiot phase. It's because they never get further up the skill curve. Why? Why don't they do it? Why don't they take the action? It's because they don't shut the fuck up about it. Let me explain. So what I said earlier, talking and doing vie for the exact same resource, so you should shut the fuck up and start taking action. What is that resource? That resource is drive. It's desire. It's actually wanting to get after something. Every time you tell someone about your plan to do something, like let's use like maybe business as an example. Everyone knows that sort of bum ass friend who's always talking about business and hasn't done anything. And maybe you have some friends, unlucky enough, who actually have done something good for them. But there's that one who says a lot and doesn't do anything. So what is it that they're always doing, that friend? They're always telling you exactly how they're going to do it, aren't they? They're always saying, oh, I'm going to drop ship. Oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to... And it's always some stupid shit they've heard online and they've never even thought about, right? And it's like, I'm going to drop ship. I'm going to do high ticket sales. I'm going to make a community. It's whatever's hot at the moment. But they never actually do it because they're always talking about it. Every time they tell you about it, they get a little bit of dopamine. In their mind, every time they talk about it, they visualize it in their mind and they can't tell the difference between talking about it and doing it. So they get the same reward as doing it by talking about it without doing any of the work. And why is that dangerous? It's because it gets reinforced. Soon you learn that talking is easier and gets more of a reward with less of a downside, and you're just going to talk about your ideas. You're not actually going to take any kind of action. Because as soon as you sit down to take action, you go, oh, this is so hard, and I've already done so much already. You get this feeling of progress. I've done so much, but you haven't done anything. You've just spoken about it. The actual work completed is 0, but just you've thought about it a lot. And that's the real trap here. So this is just the one thing, if you're going to learn anything from this video. Stop talking about your ideas, your plans, your big break that you're going to do. Because every time you talk about it, you steal energy from doing it. If you actually want to do it, you should shut up. You should stop talking about it. Just don't even mention it to people. You should just go and do it without any sort of explanation. And then when you've got the results, you can talk about it again. The main thing is, don't talk about future plans. Talk about what you have done, what you're currently doing, but don't talk about what you're going to do in an hour, what you're going to do in a week, what you're going to do in a year. It doesn't matter. Just don't tell anyone. Well, unless you're coordinating plan. Obviously, there is nuance to this. You can tell people your dreams and your ideals. You can say, I want to own a McLaren. You can say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But don't be like, I'm going to be this business guy. I'm going to have this business. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And then this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Because when you actually get into it, that's not going to happen. Something's going to go to shit. You're going to have to find out another way. You're going to change to a completely different business. This, that. It's not going to go how you plan. But every time you plan it in your mind, you create this fragility that when you actually come to do the final thing, as soon as something goes wrong, you go, I don't want to do it anymore. Let's go back to talking about it. And then think about where that's going to leave you. Do you really want to be that one guy who's like 45 years old going, I had the idea for Facebook. I thought about it. I didn't do it, but I would have been a billionaire. Like, yeah, come on, sure. Maybe they did have the idea, probably not, but maybe they did. But if you don't do anything about it, you have no right to say I would have been a billionaire because you did nothing. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the guy who maybe could have done something in another universe and think that gives them some sort of social credit. You want to be the guy who did it. So I'll leave you one more time. Doing and talking vie for the same resource, which is drive. And if you want to be driven to achieve your goals, you should stop just telling anyone about how you're going to do it and just start doing it. Peace.